Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to take some coffee stirrers and turn them into what I think is an awesome looking tunnel portal for my On30 layout. So let's get on with it. Now we're going to start off with the materials we're going to need for this project. First off, we need some 3mm by 3mm wood, and then coffee stirrers. Now I like using coffee stirrers, they're cheap, cheerful, if not free. And some plastic packaging that's been kicked around the floor a bit. We're going to use that later on, I'll show you when we get to that. But we're going to need Gorilla Glue, wood Gorilla Glue of course, because we're using wood. Some ink, this is to stain the wood, it's a mixture of black and brown ink and mixed up with water. And then last off, a little bit of paint for highlights on the wood. This is like a deserty kind of sand look. And the tools we're going to want to use, we're going to start off with obviously a straight edge, ruler, pencil for measuring, and a craft knife. Then we're going to get the razor saw as well, we're going to need that, and it's miter block because we're going to want some really nice straight edges when we're cutting. And then last of all, we're going to use the matchstick chopper that I got from Amazon to cut up the coffee stirrers. Now, to start off with this project, we're going to need to measure up our 3mm by 3mm bits of wood to the correct size of the tunnel portal. Now, this is going to vary on regards scale and how large of a portal you want to make yourself, but make sure your trains can fit through it. Then we're going to cut up the measurements that we made using the miter block, and this gives a really nice straight cut. The next thing I use the razor saw for is just to scrape down the edges of the wood, and this will create like the wood texture grind, kind of like a look that you like to see on the wood when you stain it. As you can see here close up, what I'm kind of like on about. Okay, so now this is where the ink is used. We get ourselves a plastic pot and put all of our cut up bits of wood that we're using for the structure and pour in the brown and black ink mixture that I've made myself. Each person will make their own texture, or should I say mix of this, to how they like their wood. I like mine a bit dark. We're going to move on to the coffee stirrers now, and I'm going to need to pick out about 20 of them for this project. So I'm going to go through the little pile I've got here and pick out the best ones, because every now and then you get the odd bent or misshaped coffee stirrer, and that really is not going to help you later on. So just sorting them out to begin with saves time. And again, back to the razor saw and scraping each side of the coffee stirrer, so then we've got the grooves in the wood. Now what I have done already is measured up about 2 centimeters on my chopper and put like a little stopper there so I know where to cut. And if I do this on each side of the coffee stirrers I have the correct length I want for my tunnel portal's width. So that saves me time in the long run. I'm going to cut up about 9 of these, I think. 9 or 10. I can't quite remember. So now I've cut all my long lengths. I've changed my distance between the blade to my little stopper now. And this is going to be the side walls. And each coffee stirrer gives me about 5 exact size for the side walls on the tunnel portal. So they're all cut up identical. Now I get myself a old cloth and let's fish out these bits of 3mm by 3mm. Let's fish out these bits of wood so that we can then put the coffee stirrers in and give them a bit of a soak. Now that all the wood has dried out, I left it for about 12 hours, give or take. Well, I left it overnight. I start putting the structure together with the larger bits of wood, and we use the Gorilla Glue here to stick it all together. It can be a bit tricky sometimes. I have to redo it again. So on the second attempt, now that the sides, the top part of the portal has been put in, I now get the top frame to the distance I want it. As you can see here, just add in the side walls. Go over to the other side and connect that bit as well. Let's just squeeze in now that the glue's all dried, and we've got ourselves the correct distance for the sides. So once that's all dried and the structure is together, I put on the longer pieces of wood along the top. Now, this is flipped round, so this is the inside of the tunnel portal. Once I've got all of the coffee stirrers added on, we'll flip it over and we'll see the correct side as if you were entering the tunnel. We're going to speed this bit up and play a little bit of music. So we're just going to tidy up the edges here with the craft knife. Just do a couple of run-bys, gentle cuts, and you'll eventually get rid of all the overhang. Now this is where we're going to start using the plastic packaging that I mentioned right back at the beginning. I'll strip some long, thin strips off of this plastic packaging with the craft knife, and then start cutting them up about 1 centimetre. Then I'll start gluing them to the supports of the tunnel portal, and this will eventually build up to become like brackets, kind of give it a look of the old brackets putting together with massive kind of like nails or bolts or things like that. So I'll do that just to build it up, and then I get some even thinner pieces and I create sort of like squares so they all glue on top. This does take a little bit of time and a bit of carefulness. Splodge a little bit of glue onto it, and then place the smaller ones with the pair of tweezers just on top. Give it a little bit of time to set and dry, and then get hold of some track pins. Now I'm going to use the track pins. They're very, very cheap. A bag of these are like, what's it, $1.99 or $2.99. You get billions in there. Okay, not quite billions, but you get a lot in there. And we are going to put them through, and they're going to make it look like they got bolts. We're going to paint it up a little bit using some metal steel colour for this, and then add in a light rust towards the end. Now, I'm no expert at painting. I just kind of like put this on how I think it's going to look. So then, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm using a deserty, sandy kind of look. This is just to dry brush it and bring out some of the highlights in the wood. And I'll just give it a good old dousing over. Once again, I'm no expert. Add on a bit of a rust wash, and I'll put that over the brackets that I've created. And I did put it on a bit too heavy, so I got myself a bit of tissue and dabbed it off. And it did give a really nice effect. So I've left it like that. Now, as you can see, this is the tunnel portal in place. I'm really happy with the end result, as I mentioned a few times. I'm quite chuffed. Nice bit of work that I've done here, very, very cheaply and straightforward. You can see I've still got the rest of the tunnel to complete, so do come back on a future video when that's done. Should be the next one out. So there you have it, guys. That is my tunnel portal for my tunnel. I have got more of the tunnel to build, so the next video coming out will be the build of that tunnel, which is another one to look forward to. So guys, if you're new here, do hit that subscribe button and the little bell button to be notified for the upcoming videos I have. Also, I want a massive thank you to the subscribers I have already. We're almost at 1,300, which is amazing. I'll tell you that. We're so thrilled about that. And also channel members. You guys are also cool. Your name's going to pop up now. And if you are interested in becoming a channel member, like all of these guys here, do hit that little join button down below. It's a little bit like Patreon, and all the support I get from there goes a very, very long way to supporting this channel and me. So Thank you guys, and look forward to seeing you lot in the next video. Bye for now.